look at the actual facts of the tax cuts that we're extending. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, again, from 2017, the people that benefited most from that were the lowest income Americans. It was households that made between $20,000 and $30,000 a year annually. They had the biggest benefit from the TCJA. Also, the people that make $40,000 or less had their best tax benefits in over 40 years. Yeah. Go back and look at the statistics. So what we're doing right now is, by making all those tax cuts permanent, we're preventing the largest tax increase in U.S. history. That's a Democrat talking point. This is not giving tax cuts to millionaires. It's the opposite. The people in the tax bracket that you're referring to, many of them are small business owners. They are the people that provide the jobs in every community in America.
Okay, that was Speaker Mike Johnson saying every American faces an historic tax hike, no matter their income tax class, if the big, beautiful bill fails. And he's also undercutting Democrat talking points. It's about millionaires and billionaires. It's not. Joining us now, Congresswoman Claudia Tenney from Ways and Means. Congresswoman, we love having you on. It's always nice of you and kind of you to take time out of your busy day to be with us. What do you make of this? Because Nancy Pelosi says the bill is about tax cuts for the wealthiest. That doesn't work when we're talking no tax on tips, no taxes on overtime, and more, right?
Yeah, they keep saying the same thing over and over again. They're not talking about the people who actually invest in jobs in America and entrepreneurism, and people are taking risks. And those are the small business owners that actually provide most of the jobs. 95+% of the people who go to work in my district go to a small business. They're not going to a big corporation. They're not wealthy. But what they're doing is getting a tax relief that we're doing key provisions that they're going to use to reinvest in their business, give increases in pay to their employees, which is exactly what they did as a result of the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which is why we saw growth at unprecedented levels. And it took us through the horrendous years of the pandemic and excessive Democrat spending that added a huge amount to the debt. So everybody keeps talking about spending in this bill. This bill is actually a tax bill. And the reason we keep talking about what its value is because we have to look at a fake CBO, a Congressional Budget Office score, right, that actually tells us we have to live within these confines. This is not appropriations. This is extending tax cuts, incentivizing businesses to invest more and to grow more and to make it in America, help their employees with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and numerous other business provisions that are going to help, including the personal side. So, they keep talking about millionaires and billionaires. This will be the largest tax increase in American history to our middle and lower income tax. That's exactly what happens if we let it expire.
Yeah, the CBO has been way off from Reagan's 1981 tax cut, through Bill Clinton's capital gains tax cut, to the Bush tax cuts in 2003, through the Trump tax cuts in 2017. They've been way off. The revenues went up. Now, maybe it's more federal spending, but the income tax cuts did lead to more economic activity. So now you got 5 Republican senators who don't like the bill. It's Senators Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Josh Hawley, Jerry Moran, and Jim Justice. And also, senators like Ron Johnson don't like it. What is the Senate going to do to it? Because they don't like things like the cuts to Medicaid in their states.
Yeah, look, there's not cuts to Medicaid. If you're eligible for Medicaid in this bill, you are going to get Medicaid. What we're doing is looking at a lot of the fraud, abuse, and waste in Medicaid, where states like New York, for example, are using managed care and other devices to take a larger portion of Medicaid. And then what do? Do they give it to the truly needy people, the people with special needs and our seniors and people who have fallen on hard times that need Medicaid? No, they're giving it to managed care organizations and others. And this is to the tune of, billions of dollars. And we have 8 million people on Medicaid, or the essential plan, as they call it in New York, and only 5 million are eligible. Who are these 3 million people?
That's quite a stat.
We want to make sure that
it looks like
that's $20 billion a year that we're wasting, that, by the way, the federal taxpayers are also paying for this. So these are complicated. And what we're saying is we want to make sure that we protect Medicaid for the truly needy, because that's what the program's about.
I mean, there's 4.8 million have taken advantage of it. Right, 4.8 million who are able-bodied who can work. I mean, it's not too cumbersome what the new rules would do. Congresswoman Tenney, it's always great to have you on. Thanks for joining us. Now listen to this.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.